Hello everybody and welcome back to a very special race here on your Simraceway weekend. We've got a beautiful new championship starting tonight. It is the Simraceway single-seater series. We've got round one here today with the Formula Renault 3.5 at the circuit of Brno. Then the second round sees the Lola Formula 3 at Zandvoort, followed by the return of the 3.5 at Silverstone, and with the fourth round still yet to be decided. So plenty to play for today. The heats have been extremely promising and we've got a very compact field. In fact, I can tell you just how compact it is out there. Between positions 1 and 5, there are just 7/10 of a second separating. So a very close field today. The slowest car is only 1.5 seconds off the pace. So ridiculously fast field here today. As these drivers get themselves set, Asa O'Connor just tops the timesheets, goes fastest. Colin Fox just 100th of a second away now, unfortunately. So close yet so far. It's always been the way with that man who's dominated many a championship, but drivers getting closer and closer each season to knocking him off his perch. So Seacombe currently third, fourth place belongs to Jamie, fifth is Blue Fatality, sixth is Kepu, seventh El Nino, seventh Baxagaber, eighth place is now as he just got knocked down there, ninth is Lounger, 10th Agvarity. And 11th Fregel, 12th Luke Sky 80, 13th Mr. PA, 14th B1386 at this stage. Still plenty of action to come though in this quali session. In fact, 2 minutes left, so it all can change in those final couple of seconds. You just never know how it's all going to pan out. Now this is a question, can anyone actually knock Acer off his perch? It's only going to take 100th of a second or so from Colin Fox. He's about to come towards the end of his lap now then. Down the main straight he comes, fifth gear, climbing through now over 170 mile an hour. Oh, and he goes top as well by a whole 10th of a second. And back to the pits, so I don't think there'll be another lap. He's theoretically got time, but it's going to be a big stretch if he gets out there now or no. If not, then it's Colin Fox is going for it. Asa Collins in the pits also, though. And that is absolutely crucial. So 100th of a second it was. It's now up to a 10th with Colin Fox in control. Seacombe, however, is on a lap at the moment. Coming towards the end of it, he needs to find a bit of time. Can he find it? No, 1:38.4. And he's still 3/10 off the lead at this stage. So Lounger still trying to push on at the moment. He's and that's very tight there for P6. 5/1000 of a second in front of Kepu. 600th of a second behind Blue Fatality. So Lounger has certainly got some work to do from that position right now. It's all about though what Kepu can do in P7. Can he push his way up or no? Still Asa O'Connor in the pit lane, and Colin Fox won't get another lap in as far as I'm aware. But it's all very, very close out on the field right now. Still barely any time separating, and we've got 9 seconds left of action before the checkered flag drops, and it's still just 1/10 of a second separating first from the second place. Asa O'Connor in the pits, however. And over the line, just waiting now. Here comes Seacombe, then about to finish his time from P3. Is it good enough now? No, not quite. A 1:38 was what he did. He needed a 1:37. Kepu on a lap, as is Baxagaber. Let's just see what Baxagaber is going to bring to the table. Who else is out on the circuit? B1386. And he's in P11 at the moment. We've got Mr. PA in P13, who's had... No, very technical, very demanding, full of elevation changes, and could pose a real threat during the race, considering how closely matched these cars really are. PA comes over the start-finish line then to end his qualifying bid. Doesn't prove the answer is no. And see if Perhaps Kepi the legend can improve. He's just got a few more seconds left to go. The car that will finish in front of him first, however, in terms of a lap, is going to be V1386. Wait, up the hill then, just a couple of more corners to navigate through. Very not needed towards the final corner then. Easy on the power up to 5th gear. Down the main straight he comes. This is good enough for an improvement. Yes, Lady goes 10th. So Anxiety goes down to 11. What can Kepi do? The answer is not much at all, unfortunately. He stays P8, and that is the end of your session. So, a blistering lap from Ollie Fox sees him take the first pole of the season. We'll be right back with you for the full race. Hello everybody and welcome back live to the Simraceway Single-Seater Championship for 2014. A defiant qualifying session by Lolin Fox. A fantastic time, just edging out Asa Acola by a tenth of a second. Can he transpire it though into a race victory? Let's find out as we have 1, 2, 3 lines and 4. And away at Brunel, and a big start there by the pole system. But look at Seacombe, the man in third to the inside. They're 3 wide going into the first corner. It's Asa Acola that leads. Lolin Fox has had a terrible start, and he's already dropped down to P3, almost 4th. As they go through turn number 1, he's got to be so careful now though, because he knows he'll be on the outside going in towards turn number 2, that very tricky right-handed corner, the 90-degree itch corner, going through the left. And he's going to be very careful, as we say, down to 4th. We've got a spin in the background, recovered and turned into another spin. 2 cars involved. One of those was Kevin the Legend, the other for the day for those guys. They've got to get back going again. Of course, 19 laps is a long time, but not exactly the ideal start to the race as they go through this tricky downhill section. It's still Asa Acola in control at this stage. Shuffle their way through, Violent trying to get into a slipstream of one another. The midfield started to get quite feisty as well. Fatality and Baxagaba get very close for company. Fatality tries to go to the inside. Baxagaba goes a bit wide and almost allowed the door wide open there for Fatality, but just enough strength on it to stop the move from moving any further. And now Asa Acola leads that big train of cars. In fact, 6 of them on the back. And Fatality got a fantastic run going out off that corner, going that towards the inside to the penultimate corner. It'll be a risky move. The Apex tightens up so quickly. But out of the final corner for the first time today. And it's going to be Asa Acola that leads that long train of cars. Seacombe dives up to the outside there. I'm not too sure what his plan really was, but and Asa Acola goes a bit wide through turn 1. Lolin Fox tries to follow. Perhaps to the pass sooner rather than later, knowing what's at stake. Rio now try to stick with Asa Acola. He's moving away very rapidly all of a sudden. Second lead as Seacombe falls into the clutches of Lolin Fox. Of course, Jamie 1 in P4, who's trying to get past, and that long midfield train of blue Formula Renault. You in 9th trying to hold off B13 as well. The recovering Mr. PA, not too far adrift of these guys, if we can just a little bit more pace to a consistent level. Still Baxagaba narrowly holding on to P5. We watched these guys last time into this very corner, and it was Fatality that tried to go up the inside of Baxagaba. He does it again and forces Baxagaba into a very wide corner. I think he intended to do that. I think that was just pure racing there. Great racecraft indeed, great vision. And you've really got to think of the potential right now for Fatality. Do what he wanted to do. Just always played a game of chicken there with Baxagaba, but unfortunately the man fell for it. Goes back to the inside. So as they come across the line for the end of lap number 2. Lead, Seacombe second, Lolin Fox third, 4th Jamie, 5th Blue Fatality, 6th Baxagaba, 7th Anxiety, 8th place Lounger, 9th B13, 10th Luke Sky, 11th El Nino as well. Already 3.5 is very strong, and they've turned it almost into a sprint race as such. You wouldn't think this is a good half-an-hour race, and they've all got to be very calm, very consistent. Now going, all guns blazing, and talking of guns blazing, I think that El Nino will be blazing inside that cockpit because, unfortunately, that car is in the gravel trap, and I don't think that'll be competing for much longer today if he keeps up at that rate. He's all the way down now to 13 in front of the retiree, Kevin the Legend, who retired at the end of lap number 2. So still Asa Acola leading with just over a second. I tell you what, those field of drivers have really started to apply the pressure on the rest of them right now as they head towards the second half of this circuit. Still Seacombe with a bit of prominence over Lolin Fox, who's doing everything in his power to push his way back past. Jamie, number 1, still 4th. Baxo 5th. Alex Varty still pressing Baxo in P6 after seeing how Jamie won past. He's looking to very much replicate that manoeuvre and get past as soon as possibly can as he goes to the inside of the slipstream into the penultimate corner, but so hard in these 3.5 to get the downforce required to make a move through a corner that tight. It tightens up so rapidly, it's very difficult to pull alongside and get a move done because the room runs up so very quickly. And Varty extremely close and allows Baxo to once again just go a bit wide and wait for the move to come to him. Very opportunistic driving here. And now Varty to the inside once again, still back so close in the door, though he's driven a much better defensive race the last couple of laps than he has when it opened. Still trying to catch those group of drivers. The top 4 is Lolin Fox got extremely close to Seacombe. Lolin Fox, of course, if you're just joining us, the pole sitter of this race, out-edged Acer Acola by just over 1/10 of a second. And unfortunately, the race start was just not quite there for him. He dropped all the way down to 4th, recovered well to 3rd very quickly. Now, all the rest of that work to do here, and still the very early stages of this one. We're only on lap number 4. He's only 2 seconds away from Acer Acola, so there's still definitely plenty of time for things to change. But you've got to feel like right now, Seacombe has done a brilliant job already of capitalising on errors. He's going to be in a very competitive position. Later on during the race, if things stay at this stage, he's done brilliantly in the opening stint to get himself in towards 2nd position and hold off and charging and angry Lolin Fox. Everyone knows that Lolin Fox wants to take a win here today after taking a pole position. You would love to simply put one over on Acer Acola, take a championship lead earlier on before going in towards the Lola Formula 3 round next weekend, which returns to the Silverstone GP circuit. Jamie still 4, looking pretty competitive after pulling away from Baxo. And Lolin Fox now going to the outside. Seacombe immediately darts to the inside, knows how to defend around an apex like that. He's going to let Lolin Fox run to the outside. Very smart driving there from Seacombe, but running that wide is only going to allow Jamie 1 to get right in the thick of the action, and indeed it has. Lap number 5 and Jamie 1 is looking incredibly dangerous. Can't quite get to the inside though, despite his finest efforts. Making their way through the hairpin once again. And a very wide Seacombe for the 2nd time in a row now. And Lolin Fox still 3rd, looking mighty strong, with Jamie in 4th. Gamer P5, Varty is in 6th position. It's all about the battle raging on, isn't it, for 2nd place, that trio of cars. But still take a look now at the pace of your race leader, Acer Acola, as he makes his way through the final corner for his 5th time today. Let's just take a look at what the lap time will be and compare it to those drivers around him. Over the line he goes to 1:39.1, 1:39.3 from Seacombe in 2nd, a 1:39.3 also from Lolin Fox, and a 1:39.1 also. So they are very, very closely matched to your race leader at this stage. 1:38.8 there from Baxo, and a 1:39.5, and a big twitch out of turn number 1 for Varty. Still pushing on nicely there in 8th after recovering. Luke Sky having a pretty solid run inside the top 10 as he tries to tap Blue Fatality. He's sucked down the order very rapidly indeed. Frego 11th, PA 12th, El Nino 13th, and still our lone retirement today is the man in 14th place, Kepu the Legend. Acer Acola extends that gap all of a sudden up to over 2 seconds and allows those 4 drivers to start battling as Baxo starts to get it looking very nice and early right now. Seacombe is starting to get very, very close for comfort, perhaps a bit too close, because Lolin Fox, having achieved 2nd position, made the move stick, now maybe looking a bit vulnerable. It's up to him having to already pass these guys, so now disperse of them, move a bit further forward and try and match the pace of race leader Asa O'Collar before it's too late. Whether you can do so or no is still a big issue. Everybody's fully aware of the pace of these guys right now as Asa O'Collar once again completes a lap, and it's a 1:38.7 and a 1:38.7 also from Lolin Fox chasing, 1:39.5 though from Seacombe and a 1:39.2 from Jamie Once. The man in fourth was the fastest man on the circuit last time by. Now they navigate their way through that very tense first sector, plenty of very slow complex corners. Jamie get to the inside or no? And through the hairpin, Jamie's still vying for more though, isn't he? He can't quite get close enough at this stage. But inside the top five running as we approach half race distance is not a bad place to be at all for Jamie number one. Axo P5, Sarati still chasing on in P6 despite a couple of frantic moves of the car. It's not exactly looked the most stable Formula 3.5 out there today. But still Asa O'Collar now swoops in towards the very tricky left-hander. The right-hand curve, careful not to take a lot of apex despite the run-off here at Brno. Not exactly like a Silverstone, if you make a mistake you can be commended for it and chin up round the next couple of corners and try and recover that time lost. Brno, if you make a mistake it's going to cost you so dearly. Asa O'Collar's discovering that. Lolin Fox is not that far away. A 1:38.5 from Asa O'Collar, 1:38.1 from Lolin Fox, 1:38.3 and a 1:38.6 from the two cars behind him. So let's just keep an eye on what's going on a bit further back because Mr. PA and Fregel just outside the top 10 at the moment. Mr. PA trying to battle to find himself back inside actually. The top 10 is looking pretty dangerous. His pace has been much better over the last couple of laps compared to what it was previously. Whether he can still get to that level of fifth or no is going to be still another issue. Still a little bit of background atmosphere here as the grandstands hear the roar of Asa O'Collar, but they also see how quickly Lolin Fox is gaining on him, or he was at the moment. Let's just see what the lap time will be next time by because Seacombe is able to pull him right back in close. The top three still separated by no more than 2.1 seconds, and that is a pretty surreal statistic here as we approach half race distance. Oh, and a very late corner there for Seacombe, and is Jamie going to be able to capitalise? No, he's not close enough. But Seacombe there simply ran out of road. We said before that apex is so difficult to overtake on, and Seacombe there experienced it firsthand. Lap number 9 underway. Still Asa O'Collar that leads, despite being only 0.02 of a second faster than Lolin Fox that time by. O'Collar looking very cool, very calm, very collected at the front of the field right now with Lolin Fox in that pressure starting to put it on a bit more. Seacombe though, really trying to reel in Lolin Fox before it's too late. Oh, and he goes very wide through the hairpin, a very big loss of grip on that rear end, and Jamie may punish him for it in the next sector or so. And we can get a good look in. Now to the inside. Now out to the inside once again. Maybe one, but still not quite there yet. Seacombe doing the very best he can to stay with the two leaders right now, but Axvarti's also gaining on Baxter Gamer a lot quicker than he did the last couple of times at least. Now through the final corner go the pairing in 5th and 6th. Axvarti gonna have to do maybe a little bit more than what he is currently. So a brief update on what's going on currently then. It's still Acer that lead, it's still Lollingfox second, and it's still Seeker in third chasing. These guys now starting to get a little bit more separated as they try to race the tarmac and bring the car to the flag. Instead of racing each other, they realise that in terms of the championship perspective, that will be the finest way to bring this car home. And that midfield still strengthening up its core, isn't it? B13 Fatality, Luke Sky, Frego and P8, all the way down to P11. From P8 starting to get a bit involved now. But as they climb the hill, Acer Akola's time last time by was much quicker than Seacombe. This time by, however, I've got a feeling it's going to tilt the other way as the seesaw, because Acer goes over the start-finish line and completes the time of 1:38.5 and 1:38.2 for Lollingfox. The two leaders starting to fluctuate now, back and forth they go. Seacombe P3. 4th is Jamie, 5th Baxter Gamer, 6th Axvarti, 7th B13, 8th Fatality, 9th Luke Sky, 10th Frego, 11th P8, 12th El Nino, 13th is Lounger, and still our only retirement of the day comes from Kefu the Legend. Oh no, Lounger, beg your pardon, sorry, Lounger as well, who was on lap number 7 actually, when he retired. So unfortunately for Lounger, that was a premature issue there. Like a little wide, I fear, as Lollingfox tries to bring himself a bit closer. And still that top four not being separated by more than 3 seconds here. We're about to start at number 12 very shortly. We've got the battle with Baxter Gaber and Axvarti heating up. Obviously Baxter Gaber, not much he can do. It's going to be very, very effective right now for Axvarti with Baxter Gaber not being able to fight it off through the penultimate corner of the two go. Axvarti now really feeling the pressure, looking to get a top 5 again. We've said all along that reliability and consistency have been its flaws, despite having a fantastic racecraft and brutal pace. It's the thing that stopped him from being a real championship contender. As we take a look at what's going on for the lead, Lollingfox is probably heading into draft range. Not that far away at all as they go through turn number 2 right now. Straight's only going to be helping Lollingfox. Track nature really going to be of its assistance towards the closing stint of this one. Lollingfox still pressure. We've got to keep an eye on also the other two battles forming. It's gone from one big group into 3 mini ones and 3 pairs. Still trying to go to the inside. It's a big move there for Jamie for P3, and Seacombe's able to read it like a book. And in fact, he's read it like a child's book. It was that simple to defend. 5th and 6th still dueling as well, but Lollingfox is really applying the pressure now to Asa O'Connor. We'll give you updates on lap times as they cross the line next time by. Through the penultimate corner they come. A 138 flat and a 137.8 from Lolin Fox, who's much quicker there. 138.3 from Seeker, 138.2 from Jamie, a 138.3 from Baxo, and 138.5 from Anxiety. Through the second half of this circuit again. Lolin Fox is really trying to keep that gap contained, keep it on the down low, but it's so very, very difficult to be able to pull something like that off, because right now Jamie 1 and Seacom also starting to get a little touchy out there. Seacom making a couple of errors, we've seen it before, and is Jamie going to end up on the podium here come the end of this race? That's the question now that's going to be on the lips of many a fan, many a spectator. Got Bags Gamer and Anxiety, and then we've got Fatality and B13, and then we've got Luke, Sky, Frego and PA. So PA's done a remarkable job to get himself back in contention here, looking for a top 10, which I'm sure if he can achieve, he will be over the moon with, being such a good result considering the appalling start that he had. Now to the inside, better of it, that's the same corner where Seacom was attempting to pass earlier on. Still Seacom in control of the Jamie battle though as we go in towards the final 5 laps of the race. But look at that PA war that's going on, and what's concerning me is that Asa O'Connor is not really that far away from actually lapping. He's about half a lap away. And if those guys ended up in a bit of an error, that trio, which they say 2's a company, 3's a crowd. So PA still chasing Frego, and he's still chasing Luke Sky, who's done a very good job there to keep a clean head, keep a calm head under this mindset, because right now he's got a very difficult task of keeping 2 very talented drivers behind him. He's trying to move to the inside there, he's got a nice run on Frego. In fact, the only 2 cars who had a good run were Luke Sky and PA. Frego got an appalling run. But now it's going to cross the start-finish line again. Asa O'Connor still in firm control. Lolin Fox cannot get that slipstream going despite his best efforts. Lolin Fox watching his line now, actually through that hairpin, went a little bit wide actually, and Seacom almost did the same. Jamie not quite close enough. Oh, and a big wobble there from Jamie. You can just see that's the dirty air that's coming into effect on the back of the Formula Renault. Baxter gave us still 5th from Anxiety. The battles that we've seen today have definitely proven that Renault is not the easiest circuit on the world to overtake, especially in these cars. Remember all those weeks ago, in fact months ago, when we had John Hindhoff with us commentating on the delightful Audi RAT e-tron Quattros that were blasting their way around this circuit. Now taking a look at Mr. PA, and oh, he's got a good run there on Luke Sky. 80 going towards the inside. It's going to be a very difficult move to pull off. He'll be on the outside for the corner, swooping it round. And he's going to have to try and get the cut back. It's his safest manoeuvre after Fregel got past earlier on. And now P8 still looking for a manoeuvre, and it's gotten a bit of sense of desperation. We only have 4 laps to go. And the battle for 4th and 3rd still rages on. The battle for the lead, I think, may not come to blows, because Asa O'Connor's been in control of this race so far. And still the field separating out. In an interesting fact, Asa O'Connor back to the last car on circuit, who's El Nino. There's only 1 minute. To Luke Sky, who's in contention, there's only 42 seconds. And Jamie got a good run out there, but Seacombe also had a bit of a wobble, and that's going to definitely help him. Asa O'Connor moves his way through the final corner. Very good push through there to start lap number 17 of 19. And he's kept that race pace in control of his hands right now. Olin Fox has not really had anything to answer to. He's about 3 seconds away as they cross the line. And now Seacombe and Jamie are really trying to put their differences aside as Jamie gets much, much closer this time by. He has been for a little while at least. Now it's tries to go to the inside, maybe not quite there yet. Very difficult part of the circuit to pass this one. Now they make their way up towards the hairpin. Seacombe again uses all that runoff and a little bit more, doesn't he, to make sure he gets the optimal drive coming out of the corner. That's the best thing to do from a defensive driver. That's where you can see the men from the boys, the guys who use that little bit more. Just trying to set themselves aside and use all of their knowledge to utilise the most out of the car and the circuit to their fullest advantage. Olin Fox now a bit closer as they climb the hill for the 17th time out to start the penultimate lap of the afternoon. And Olin Fox is actually not that far adrift. He's only a second apart. So now the real question on everyone's lips is, can he get it done? 2 laps to find the time. He's 1:37 flat to 1:37.6 from Asa O'Connor, so he is much faster. Towards the left hand, and mind the anti-cut strips there, and Olin Fox got dangerously close to them, but still doing everything in their power to put this battle aside. Jamie 1 is getting more and more aggressive, isn't he? Slowly but surely. Now as they make their way down through in towards the intersection of the circuit once again, Seacombe holding a much tighter line this time, not using as much runoff area to make sure he just doesn't give the opportunity for Jamie to sneak through. Still Asa O'Connor P1, still Olin Fox P2, despite Olin Fox getting closer and closer. This is the best he's been in a while, and look what lays in front of them, a long straight, a massive ascent uphill, but surely Olin Fox now may just have a chance. The time's not really coming down though. He didn't have the drive he needed but he did get the breaking point. He had a much finer final corner than Asa Acola, and as they start the final lap, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats because this is going to be an absolute thrill seeker of a finale, I think. Battles all the way down the field, a very promising opening round to the single-seater series. All eyes are on the lead battle. What can Olin Fox do? It's going to be the master of clutch, Asa Acola. He's been in this situation so many times before. The most recent at Sonoma with Pro Drifter 1000 back in the Performance Driving Championship. Held on for 40 laps, held on in the final lap. Of course, different car, different driver, different scenario. What can the king of clutch do here today against a very charging Olin Fox, one of the most improved drivers of recent Simraceway? And let's just see what he's got left in the tank, because as Asa goes wide, you can see Olin Fox a bit more tentative with the throttle, trying to get the best drive he can out of the corner. Jamie's got the same theory, not quite put into practice though. And this is where Olin Fox needs to be taking every bit of curve possible, and the gap's going up. It's not what he wants. It's extending, and it's not what Olin Fox needs. They're going towards the right-hander, sinking before they rise up through the mountains of Brno once again. The gap's coming down, and look how close Olin Fox has come. Right at the final stage, his heart will be going like a jackhammer. 2 more corners to go up the hill. There's not much separating them, only a few tenths. This time is 3/10 of a second. Fox to the outside, Asa defends. He needs to get a good run, he's got to plan it strategically. He almost touches him. And now he's got to try and sneak underneath, and Asa Acola goes wide, but it doesn't matter because Asa Acola holds on in the clutch again and wins the first round of the single-seater series. Olin Fox takes a thoroughly deserved second, Seiko in third, Jamie takes fourth, Max Gaber pushes the line in fifth. Agsvarti will cross the line in a very good sixth position there. Good to see Agsvarti back in the top half of the field again. Blue Fatality will navigate his way over the start-finish line in P7. P8 belongs to B13A6. Good job there for B13. He weaves in excitement as Fregel follows in 9th. 10th place belongs to PA. Good drive there for Mr. PA, considering he was down as low as 14th earlier on. A very slow start, got taken out, recovered his way to a top 10. Not bad at all. Luke Sky 11th, El Nino 12th, and our 2 retirees are Lamcha and Kepu the Legend. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. Thank you so much for watching this broadcast, and congratulations to our race winner, Asa Acola. That's it from us here at Brno, but we'll be back extremely shortly at Silverstone for round 2 of the Out of This World Championship. Hello everybody and welcome to radio coverage of the 2014 Simraceway Out of This World Championship for 2014. Unfortunately, there's no picture for this race. We've had some technical issues, but it will hopefully get all sorted out very shortly. So we're bringing you the very latest from the Silverstone circuit. It's still DiMaggio that leads the pole sitter from Sean in second, and don't forget Luke Sky, number 80 in P3, finished 10th last time out, still competing today, this time for a podium, as Sean gets all over the back of DiMaggio as they go through Lovefields for the second time of 17. And back onto the old pit straight now, and Sean trying to feel or get a feel for the circuit and the car, the Lotus 88B, of course, in use here today. Running the full GP layout, Severio 4th. Grafindel 5th, Mr. PA in 6th, Vorbanger 7th, 8th place is Blitz, 9th is RT Met, Andrek Passer is 10th, and Jekyll is in P11 with Flower 89 and Fraggle dueling over P12 at the back of the field at the moment. They're about 20 seconds away from your race leader, but the majority of the field making their way through. Maggots and Beckett's at the moment. The leaders on through the Wellington straight, the Hanger straight, I beg your pardon, and in towards Vale, and just through Stowe now they go, and a bit wide there was DiMaggio. And just been a pass there, so Sean 24 on the inside, the final corner, the 2 leaders make contact, but Sean takes the lead. DiMaggio got a bit of a poor run coming out of the corner, and Sean 24 capitalised. The 2 went nose to tail, then side by side, and now Luke's going to bit of the action, opens to the outside, tries to sweep it round. It's an ambitious manoeuvre around the complex, but he gets it done as they go into the link onto the Wellington straight. Luke Sky now immediately sets his sights on Sean 24. Fantastic action here from Silverstone. And what an event this has been so far. Already there's only 9 seconds separating the top 5. It has been tremendous to see. And I think now it's just all got to be a case of what can these guys do as they go down the old pit straight. 3rd time today. A lot of it is at stake, of course. 2nd round of the championship. Some of these guys who maybe didn't get off to the best first round they could have now got a lot of work to do indeed. And a quick update of overall position then to Sean 24, now the leader of the race, as Luke Sky did get himself into 2nd position. 3rd place belonging to DiMaggio. 4th place belongs to a certain Severio, who's not that far away in all honesty. And neither is the man in P5, Grafindel, Mr. PA, attacking him already right underneath that rear end. That is extremely close. We'll see if we can get a move done. They're going into, just doing it out of Stowe into Vale now. It's going to be a very close contest indeed. And as these 2 drivers start to duel out, we've got a yellow flag out. And hopefully that's nothing too serious. I think all the cars still on the circuit looking pretty strong at this stage. But it's a dynamic pairing edge their way through for another lap. They start lap number 4. And as we just got to really keep an eye on what's going on for the lead of the race as Sean tries to extend the lead. Very difficult to do when you've got 2 straights as long as this around Silverstone. Luke Sky, DiMaggio, Severio, Grafindel and Mr. PA. PA, who's done a good job already this afternoon, looks to further extend this good work. Of course, if you watched the earlier race with the debut of the single-seater championship, he started pretty well, got knocked all the way down the field with the qualifying hardship, was put to waste, and then had to try and recover from 14th position, about 40 seconds off the leader at that stage, got himself back inside the top 10, so a great result, it had to be said, for Mr. PA. I'm sure we'll be looking to further carry that momentum into this race. Currently runs right in the heart of the field, P6, chasing Grafindel in 5th, about a second away as the drivers head down Hanger Straight, and really is a magnificently long straight. And of course the bridge, the barriers you see, it does look like a relatively small bridge, but the barricades that you see with the Silverstone badge, you can't actually view over. You're not allowed to stand on the bridge at the circuit and look over at the cars. And so those barricades are extremely high, which I think further emphasises how big this circuit really is. It's about a 10-minute drive from the old pit straight paddock to the new pit straight paddock in the wing complex. You have to follow the perimeter road right the way around the circuit, but as they edge their way down for another lap, lap 5:17 underway, still Sean's firm control at this stage. And now as we take a look at the field, well, I say metaphorically, of course, unfortunately there's no picture at this stage, but right now, the entire top, well, between 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, are only separated by about 5 seconds as they go down the old pit straight once again. The field's still very closely contested. 17 laps of racing is the stipulation that we have in front of us here today. And still very close action indeed as Forbanger gets a bit closer there to PA. Forbanger 75 still pressing on down Hanger, looking like he's going to be a firm contender for a move into Stowe. This is for P6. Forbanger to the inside, launches one, and PA sweeps it round. Very assertive defending there from Mr. PA. That's exactly just showing us how much he's improved over recent months, but still the assertive Forbanger comes back up the inside again. PA resists temptation and holds on to the position as they come out of the final corner for the 5th time. But as they navigate their way through the complex, just going out of turn number 1 and into turn number 2, it has been absolutely fantastic to watch these Lotus 88Bs restored to their former glory. And of course, the main event coming a bit later on tonight, but Sean 24 has just done simply a magnificent job so far. Luke Sky 18 second, DeMagico third, the three separated by no more than 2.5 seconds. And look at the run that DeMagico's trying to establish over the rest of this field. He's just pulled out about 4 seconds compared to Saverio Graufindl, P5. PA is P6 currently. 7th Forbanger, Blitz is in 8th. Not a bad run there by Blitz as he tries to cling on to the trio in front of him who are dueling away. And through in towards a very tricky couple of corners for these drivers right now, into towards Vale and Club. And Mr. PA now trying to attack Graufindl, so he's already dispersed of Forbanger, having gone on a pretty risky defending route, and is now already trying to move his way in towards the final corner. A bit of a risky run though, it's got to be said. He didn't exactly get the run he probably wanted to. And I think in turn that's going to cost him slightly, but even so, I don't think he's going to be too disheartened with the prospect of a move, maybe going into the next couple of corners, through into Farm now, just out of Abbey. And as they make their way back onto that straight once again. Down Wellington they come, the field were perhaps a bit more spaced out than they were last time, except for Forbanger, who's already got onto the back of PA again. So PA has now become the hunted after being the hunter, and a dive up the inside, he's pushed to the edge of the circuit, and Forbanger left no room. If they'd have got any closer, there would have been a horrific accident. Forbanger, oh, and they've touched finally, and I didn't think that was intentional. And now Blitz gets involved, sweeping round the outside. And Blitz goes into P7 as they go through onto the National Pit Straight and into Cop's corner for the 7th time today. Remarkable scenes there. The trio have really lit this race on fire. But a quick update on overall positions. It is still Sean 24. That does lead the charge. It's Luke Sky in second. It is DeMagico chasing in third, about 1.9 seconds away. Then Severio. Gralfindel holding strong in fifth in front of this delightful battle with PA, Blitz and Fourbanger, which has kind of turned into a bit of a war, it has to be said, as Fourbanger goes back up the inside of Blitz. Blitz trying to hold it round the outside, but so hard to do around Club Corner. And lucky for Fourbanger onto the straight. Whoa, Blitz has gone off. Blitz goes into the barriers, into the final corner, out of club. He lost the back end, and there's no saving one of these 1981 Lotus 88Bs. Blitz goes careering into the barrier. Hopefully, there is no lasting damage to the car. But that's going to cost him absolutely dearly right now. He's falling into the clutches of Ondrej Passer and RT Mets 92. Both of those guys dueling over P9 and P10 at the moment. They've been doing so for quite a while. And over the national pit straight again comes Sean 24, now with a 3.8 second lead over Luke Sky 80, with DeMagico still holding strong in P3. He hasn't done too badly at all today as your race leader. And of course, he'll still be looking to maybe put a bit more into that context as well later on as he tries to further extend that lead. But for now, it's all just going to be a case of racing the track. We're about halfway through. We're just about approaching it as they come towards the start-finish line for another time. The gap stands at just over 3 seconds. We'll give you a full time and distance, including lap times next time by. And as they're going towards Vale, it won't be too long at all. So through they go, and it's got to be said that Luke Sky 80 has got to just try and keep his head strong. Out of the final corner, Sean 24 did make a bit of an error there. It wasn't entirely characteristic, and maybe either wasn't going to be one that's going to lose him a lot of time, but it was one that's definitely shown he's got the potential to make errors, and he can be caught. This is not race over. We've still got a long way to go here at Silverstone, and there is more than plenty to play for. So down Wellington Straight again come the field. And there's Luke Sky, DeMagico, Severio, Gralfindel, Mr. PA, Fourbanger, Blitz, Ondrej Passer, RT Met, and Jekyll. With Frego in 12th, and your first retirement of the day came on that number 2, and that was Flaren 89. So in terms of what to expect now for the rest of the race, I think it's just going to be a case of, can Mr. PA catch Gralfindel, or is that trio really going to rocket back into action once again? Because all race long they've been going at it. As they make their way onto the hangar straight, PA may just have a bit of an advantage now trying to attack Gralfindel. He's not too far away. Gralfindel moves across the circuit to try and get perhaps in the mind of the contender. Is into Stowe they go for the 9th time today. So only be about 9 laps to go as they cross the line this time by. With PA still holding strong in the midfield. Done an ecstatically good job today of defending that midfield position. He's not surrendered it at all. He's not succumbed to any pressure. And out of the final corner, down the national pit straight, go the pairing who are fighting over the final top 5 spot. In terms of the lead battle though, Luke Sky now just 1.5 seconds away from Sean 24, so the battle for the lead again also is by no means signed, sealed or delivered. They're all still fighting very hard right now. So through down the old national pit straight once again, and it's going to be a very difficult scenario for these drivers to get their cars to the end of the race and try and risk it. If they want to decide to fight, or they want to just fight the tarmac and bring the car home. It's a difficult call to make, that's for sure. And against opponents this tough as well, opponents this renowned to cause devastation when it comes to overtaking, and it's just got to be One of those scenarios where they need to think of it very strategically. They've got to think of the bigger picture here. It is only the second round of the championship, of course. But PA getting ever closer to that back of Graufinkel. The 288Bs come down hanger straight once again. And PA looking like he's going to be the man to make a move now into Stowe. Goes to the inside at the 50-yard marker. And he can't quite pull it off. Good defending there from Graufinkel. Despite a very, very risky move indeed. That backhand came flying out. But it could be the youngster Graufinkel that just holds off against PA. It's a still late twist in this tail. We've got an entire second stint to go. And now into turn one once again. Before making our way into Abbey Farm and through the link to bring them onto the Wellington Straight. And it's still Graufinkel that contains that momentum at the moment. So down Wellington they go, and still no sense of accomplishment just yet, but you've got to take a look at the two leaders, because we said earlier on that those two were battling on, and Sean 24 had lost a bit of time. He's actually gone wide, and Luke Sky has taken the lead of the race on that number 11. They go through the old National Pit Straight now, through Copse Corner, and Luke Sky 80 is actually in control of the race with Sean 24 chasing. DeMagico is only 5 seconds back as well, so there's still chance there. And DeMagico's got almost a perfect view of what's going on here, which is great to see for him. But in terms of his race, he just maybe wants to keep it there and make sure he doesn't get involved in any action. Talking of action, Sean 24 now to the inside. Luke Sky doesn't make it easy into Stowe, but there's nothing much he can do. He's got the inside line. Sean 24 reclaims the lead of the race. For how long remains to be seen. These two gladiators surely going to be battling now till the very end of the broadcast and the race as well. There's not that long left to fight. But Sean a bit maybe inconsistent over the curbs there, and that might just allow Luke to have a bit of a browse up the inside, but only window shopping at the moment, has no intention of making a pass, which is still a bit frustrating for Luke Sky 80, the man who just claimed the top 10 in the first round of the Single Seaters Championship. Into the complex they go. Sean very defensive, making sure that there's no chance of a cutback. You can see why though, can't you? He's been very, very careful with who he's chosen to fight with today and the way he's gone to go about overtaking. But now to make their way through the National Pit Straight, once again, that number 12 of 17, it's still Sean that leads, and in second position, still chasing hard, is Luke Sky, number 80. DeMagico P3 now just 2 seconds back as well. So those guys still giving each other a run for their money. This battle's not going to be settled in a matter of minutes. It's going to come down to the wire, I've got a feeling, and it's just a pity we don't have live television pictures to bring you, because this would have been a fantastic race to see, and I'm sure we can put some highlights together or something. But under the bridge they go. Another battle forming as well with Graufinkel and PA. PA still chasing the man in the top 5, or the final top 5 spot at the moment. And whether he'll seize to take that or no remains to be seen. The pair heading to Stowe, and Graufinkel still very much controlling that position here as we just about have about 10 minutes or so left of racing left, and a bit of a wobble for Graufinkel also. Over the main straight they go, and still no change in positions at the moment. And PA, though, looking a bit more aggressive than what he was a few moments ago, isn't he? Trying to have a go. Down Wellington Straight, the pairing come once again. And I'm sure they just love to get themselves a good result today. Nothing fancy, no breathtaking overtaking manoeuvres, just get themselves into contention for a good result. They don't want to risk anything too great at all. But they're getting so close yet so far. In fact, the entire top 6 separated by just 8 seconds as we approach the final stint of this one. So down we go again. And I think, what have these guys got to do to take this victory right now away from Sean 24? It was so close earlier on. They almost had a chance, and they just don't want, it seems, to overtake and risk anything, because the two leaders almost come together, didn't they, Luke Sky and Sean 24? They're now separated, of course, by about 1.3 seconds. They don't want to really be risking that much. DeMagico is only 9/10 of a second, I should say, away. So it wouldn't surprise me if he can get involved in this at some point. He's a lot closer to Luke Sky than Luke Sky is to Sean 24, interestingly enough. It's all a case of just playing it calm. Lap 14 of 17, still a little bit to play for, though. And now through they go into Luffields again. A quick update of the order. Sean, Luke, DeMagico. And finds his way back to Severio and Groutfindle with PA. PA trying to go up the inside again, and still no avail just yet from PA. Four-banger Blitz, Ondrejk Passer, RT Metz, Jekyll and Fregel round out your field so far. Still a little bit of time left though, of course. About 4 laps or so. It's all about the PA and Groutfindle battle. That's the one that's captivated the hearts of the spectators here. And PA still looking to press on as they go through Maggots and Beckett's. Surely not long left now. They need to try and find a way through, and Groutfindle goes wide into the hanger straight, and that is going to allow PA through easily. Could not ask for an easier pass, and in turn, that may have just earned in that position for the race. It's not over yet, though. There's still time for a late comeback. You just got to feel that PA is surely taking the swing of things in that one now. Although Groutfindle's still trying to sneak back underneath, isn't he? Oh, and he's spun out the final corner. He's lost control. And luckily averts it onto the grass to kick it back into the right way. Oh, he's lost it again. And the amount of time he's going to lose, that's such a shame. And now Ondrejk Passer passes him as well. And that is just such a shame that the field is so, well, they're that close together that when it comes towards the end of the race, there's not much you can do. A real shame there for Groutfindle. Well, he's lost it again. He spins again. Going in towards turn number 1 this time. And that's got to be a potential retirement, is it? Or he keeps trying to push anyway. Yeah, he won't give up yet. He knows he can take a few more positions at least. But it's handed a position to PA. DeMagico spins from 3rd. And that is going in towards, well, out of Luffields actually. So through go, Severio through goes Mr. PA. And DeMagico's out, he retires. DeMagico out of the race, out of nowhere. The man he was chasing not Mr. P, I beg your pardon. The man he was chasing Luke Sky 80 especially hard has now all come to blows. And it's a real shame that all of this good racing and some emphatic action has just been missed, unfortunately, in terms of television screens. But hopefully you still get a sense of just how intense this has been for these drivers today. So PA continues to fly, but through the final corner, we've still got a battle for the lead as they start the penultimate lap of the race. Only 0.8 of a second separate Luke Sky 80 and Sean 24C. Both drivers looking strong, both drivers looking like they have a shout of winning this thing. And both are respected and sensible enough to not go throwing anything away with a drastic change of heart, I believe. As they enter Wellington Straight, we believe that you can't add fuel in the pits, is what we've just been told there by Blitz, who's had a bit of an issue. They get through lap traffic now to Luke Sky and Sean. But now it's all about these main early performances. After this, we'll be halfway into the championship, so just trying to get the best run of results as he can, really. Of course, having a drop round as well. And as they now go through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel for the penultimate time. Sean has a very narrow 5/10 of a second lead at the moment. And that could be all set to change in the following moments should Luke Sky 80 have his way with things. But Sean looking to surely return to the top flight of racing. He's done a great job so far. He's weaving down the straight. I don't know if he thinks this is the final lap or no, but if he has, it could be the biggest blunder in Simraceway history. And now Luke Sky tries to capitalise on his error or poor misjudgment to the inside. He'll be on the outside going into Vale. He's provisionally into the lead. He has to sweep it round that final chicane through Vale and please around the club right now. And I think that's it. I think Sean... Oh, Sean's in the pits. Sean 24 is in the pits. Now, is he out of fuel? Luke Sky takes the lead. Is this a fuel stop? Heartbreak. Absolute heartbreak onto the final lap. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Sean 24 is in the pits. Severio P4 comes over the start-finish line now. And Sean's run out of fuel. No, Severio, beg your pardon. Severio's run out of fuel. He's struggling through the gears. He's stuck in fourth. The car is giving up. It's coughing out fuel or blood or whatever it may be. That car is not sounding healthy. It's limping around this home of British motorsport. Poor Severio. Is anyone else having the same issue? Four-banger is out in 7th. And I can't believe it. Four-banger's out. Sean is out of the race. The race leader is gone. Jekyll is still going. Fregel is still going. Blitz is still in the pits. And I'm sure he's going to stay there. But Mr. PA may just rocket up to second position here in the biggest turn of events in history. Having got a top 10 last time round, he's looking for what could easily be a big result here today. Absolutely sensational. And PA's off. PA, I think, has got or had a bit of a lag issue. PA, oh no. Mr. PA may have lagged out of the game on the final lap. And I'm putting a commentator's curse on it, I think. There's no way, surely, that it's happened. It has to be a glitch. He's got to come back. He's in fourth, but he's got to turn our attention. Oh, he has. Mr. PA's gone. So the whole field has completely reshuffled in the final lap. Luke Sky through the final corner. He's run out of fuel. Luke Sky's out of fuel in the final corner. Can he limp to the line? He's shooting down the gears. He's down to 45 miles an hour. He's got 50 yards to go. He's done it. Luke Sky 80 barely takes a victory. Andrej Passer is going to take second. He was 9th a lap ago. Andrej Passer over the line, second position. Our team has 92 in third. Graf Findel takes P4. Jekyll will take 5th. Fregel will take 6th position. I think my throat is about to explode. Mr. PA retired in 7th. Severio is out of fuel in 8th position. Four-banger 9th. Sean 10th. 11th Blitz. 12th. DeMagico. Blitz is limping round the circuit as well. DeMagico out. Flaren out. My goodness me. Jekyll over the line to take 5th. Fregel over the line now to take P6. And that is the end of the race. Luke Sky 80 wins from Andrej Passer second. RT Metz in third. Your race leader for most of the race retired with no fuel. Absolutely sensational. One of the best races I've ever seen here, and the best way to send us into the final race of the night. Be sure to go get some food and drink. If this sign is a sign of things to come, we're going to have the biggest race on our hands of the season so far here at Silverstone. From myself, Liam Jenkins, I will see you very shortly. Hello everybody and welcome to the final few minutes of qualifying here for the Out of This World Championship Round 2 in 2014. We just witnessed potentially one of the best races we've ever seen here and the best way to lead us up in towards this second race of the championship and the final race of the evening. So, currently taking a look at the standings, and it is Pro Drifter 1000 that leads the charge on a 1:41.5, just in front of Lounger on a 1:41.7, a 1:41.9 from Extremely Fast Seacombe on a 1:41.9 as well. Jamie P5, and it's called Tazy in P6, 7th place for Kepu, 8th is Penge, 9th El Nino, 10th place for AGO, 6th, 11th AZ Best, 12th Vasquez, and 13th for Anxiety. But what an event we just saw, and fuel is going to be an issue now. There aren't going to be pit stops during this race, or scheduled stops at least, but these drivers have to be so careful with the amount of fuel they put into the car, because right now they're struggling. We saw race 1, there were 4 drivers in the final lap alone in the B race that suffered a retirement due to not having enough fuel, and they've really got to work on that. They've got to find a solution and find out how to manage the car better, how to manage the track conditions better, and how to manage their own driving styles better. It's all going to take practice, that really cannot wait to get this race underway. So still 1 minute 28 left then, and right now Lounger's only a couple of tenths of a second away. He's not really that far behind, he just needs to get himself a good run perhaps, clearing traffic. taking a look there at what Lounge is doing right now. He has got a pretty clean run. There's a car off the circuit in front of him going through the complex, and I don't think that's going to pose too much of a threat, however. So down the Wellington straight comes Lounger. It's kind of a case of now or never for him, isn't it? There's not too long left to think about this. They've got to try. The time is over now for Banker Laps. It's all about now just making sure you can get the job done. Party car on the front row, extremely fast, only a tenth of a second behind, as is Seacombe, and Jamu closer to 2/10, but still barely anything separating these guys at the moment. And now he's just gone through the old national pit straight into Copse Corner for his 6th qualifying attempt today. Three Maggots and Beckett, and looking at the other cars on the field who are potentially on times. Kepu the Legend, one of them, he sits in 7th, just a thousandth of a second away from G. Cortese. Through Vale he goes and in towards Club Corner, the turn which saw many a issue and many a trouble during race number 1 in the B skill quad earlier on, I should say. Over the line, it's not good enough. He stays 8th. He's only 6/10 away from the leader, so very close field out here today. Then qualifying is over. The checkered flag is out. Who's going to be the next man to set a time? Then it will be Lounger in P2. Is he good enough for pole or no? Oh, he takes a 10th out, but it's still not quite enough. And despite his finest efforts, Lounger starts 2nd. The fans cheer. Extremely fast 3rd. AGO6 4th. What can Seacombe do? He needs a 100th of a second, remember, as he goes over the line. Oh, and he goes 4th. He gets it. And he's only a further 100th behind extremely fast. So extremely close is what the field is. Jame over the line also needs a 100th to Demo. AGO6 to 6th. Can't quite do it though. And that brings us to the end of qualifying. We just wait for Anxiety. He's P11 at the moment. Can he get himself just a little higher up? Or is this going to be the highest he will climb all race long? Let's wait and see. Over that start finish he goes. And he goes 7th. Big lap there by Anxiety. And that is going to be big news for him indeed. That brings us to the end of the qualifying session. So, Pro Drifter 1000 on pole, Lounger 2nd, extremely fast Seacombe, and AGO6 round out your top 5. We'll be right back with you with the full race. Hello everybody and welcome back live to your final race of the evening then. This is it, this is a big one. The second round of the Out of This World Championship is about to get underway. We already saw an Out of This World race in the B race in the 900 to 1100 skill quad. The question is, can Pro Drifter get a win now, or will something out of this world happen? We've got 5 red lights. Away we go, a big start there for Pro Drifters, who tries to sweep it around the outside of the opening corner for the first time. The field sweep in, and still no major catastrophes just yet. Oh, just as I say that, off into the background goes El Nino, spinning around. I think he's just about got that car sorted out once again and all straightened up, but the currently 14th place man needs to get his way back through the field as soon as possible. A bit of a poor start by him for his account. Penge around the outside there as they make their way into the Wellington straight for P10. That's passing last race's winner, Luke Sky, number 80, who comes right back at him, in fact. Can't make the pass stick, though, as Kepi the Legend comes under sufficient fire from G. Cortese. At the front of the field as well there, that is Lounger battling with Extremely Fast. And we're just about holding on at the moment. Extremely Fast giving it a right go as they go down the national pit straight. Absolutely everything he can now to the inside of Cop's corner. The trickiest overtaking spot imaginable, but he's gone for it anyway on the inside. And you can't go side by side through Magus and Beckett's without risking a collision. It doesn't work like that, but he's going to try anyway. And luckily the anti-cuts made him see the brighter side, and the grass was greener if he didn't go to overtake, because that could have ended in utter devastation at this point. You've got 28 laps of racing, boys. Don't go doing anything too drastic just yet. And not even through the cones there went Seacom. I'm sure he's got to relinquish those positions back. We're down Hanger. We've got 4 drivers battling. They're going to go 4 wide. Surely not. They tried to do it, and somehow it's going to be AGO6 that comes out on top. But 4 of them almost went 4 wide. That was almost very ambitious indeed. And talking about, they're 3 wide though. And a bit of banging and clattering between the 1981 machinery. And somehow they'll get through okay towards the end of the first lap. What a chaotic first lap that was, full of overtaken and full of action. Exactly what we like to see. And that's so still a very eager race. We've got a car off in the gravel there earlier on. That was Anxiety, we believe, was it? No, it wasn't, sorry, I beg your pardon. A bit earlier on in the lap, that's P13 for him. It was Jamu that's gone off in P12, and he rejoins right now just behind Anxiety, in fact. As Vasquez risks a cutback there from El Nino, who tries to maybe put a pass on him, but to no avail just yet. Down the Wellington straight they come, and now goes for a move going into Luffield. It should be a pretty simplistic manoeuvre, to be honest. He's got the inside line, providing he does now break himself, but he does. As now they go onto the old national pit straight again. Look at the run that Luke Sky almost had there on the man in P7 of Seacom. Didn't quite get the job done there into Cop's corner. Got extremely close though, didn't he? Time to take a lot more speed through there. Some heavy downshifting indeed as the cars make their way now onto the Hanger straight for the second time of 28 here today. Take a look at what's going on up front. Pro Drifter still with a 1.8 second lead at this stage. It's been a good start there for Pro Drifter. He comes down into Vale. Lounger still holding strong second, Extremely Fast looking good in third. A side-by-side action there through Stowe corner of Seeker and AZ Best, and those guys are going to go ploughing into Vale, and surely going to be just a baby bit of contact between them maybe. It wouldn't surprise me, but somehow they get through it okay. I'm not exactly sure how they've pulled that off, but they have, and it is Seacom who remains at the back of that battle as AZ Best was able to just about lose out. He's on career, 2 cars go careering off the same corner. Did someone just spill oil on the track at turn number 1? AZ Best goes flying off. Vasquez careers into the gravel trap, and I think he made big contact with the barrier as he killed the engine there or stalled it. That's the only question. It was a rather heavy shunt. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. The car still stationary at the exit of the first corner here. So not good signs at all. Vasquez is out. He is indeed, and that's a big shame. But turn 1 was looking very, very cold, it seemed. The tyres did not like it at all. The battle of 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th is well underway. These 5 cars all separated by a mere 3 seconds as they go down the old national pit straight again. Some brilliant racing already being shown there by the entire class of the field. The midfield has been so strong in terms of what it's possessed and how much it's pushed on. And side-by-side action there as well. That's Luke Sky 80 trying to go up the inside of Stowe corner. Unfortunately for him, that was never going to work. Jamu just simply had all that outside momentum. He wasn't going to let that slide for anyone, let alone Luke Sky, who's already done well to push himself up into 8th position. But down the main stretch they're coming. Look at that ferocious battle, and off goes AGO6 somehow, avoiding further contact. But the man who's now down to P6 went careering off again at turn number 1. What is it about that fast right-hander that these Lotus 88Bs are struggling so much with? These setups the drivers are making must be so low on downforce on a car that's already struggling. And in turn, it's just making for some very difficult racing on the circuit. Down the straight again goes Luke Sky 80 now, trying still to further attack Seacombe. Up the inside he goes into Luffields, and again Seacombe says no, not today. Holds on very strong indeed towards the halfway point of the lap. They're doing everything he can right now. Seacombe's done a fantastic job of maintaining and holding his ground so far. Extremely fast off from second and somehow holds on to it. These 88Bs, they're ruthless, they're relentless, they're unpredictable. And that is exactly what all these drivers are struggling with here today. Oh, he's almost lost it again. He has lost it again. And extremely fast pirouettes into the gravel trap, and down to 5th place he goes. And in fact, I think AGO6 has lost it as well, but that has now allowed Kepu the Legend and Cortese to fight over 3rd position. And up the inside goes Kepu the Legend, just about holding on. As Cortese did everything he could to put the move on him, but was not quite there in the end. And round the outside now, defending again in towards Club. Very smart defending indeed there for Kepu the Legend, who's been nothing short of legendary in the opening stint. Got himself up into a podium position. Look at that squabble going on at the back of the field. Now that is very intense indeed with these Lotus 88Bs. I think the plural for Lotus is low tie, if that would make sense. But the low tie making their way through turn number 1 to start their 5th endeavour of the Silverstone circuit. You've got battles going on all the way around the track as Penge decides that it might be his time to break into the top 10 as he tries to attack Anxiety, but to not quite there just yet. Onto the Wellington straight then, they all come, and it's been a tremendous job by all of the drivers, all of the teams so far as Penge tries to move, and not quite there. Anxiety slamming that door shut, very assertive defending from Anxiety. The same can't be said for AGO6 in 6th position, as extremely fast. Oh, he cleans the back of him, and now that was not intended. I think that was just drive rare. He went to swoop to the outside to overtake him down into Cop's corner, but what he did was he left it too late, and as he swooped out, the front wing has caught the rear wing. He's gone careering off due to lots of grip. And talking of careering off, who on earth was that? It's Luke Sky. He's down to 13. And my oh my, you'd think there's some unseen moisture on the circuit. The cars have no grip whatsoever. Luke Sky down to 13. Terrible accident indeed. He's got the car luckily pointing in the right direction again, but it's got to be said that Luke Sky, number 80, has not had an easy day out there today. After a win in race number 1, his confidence was high. He knows the circuit now, and he knows the car. Still doesn't stop from it being a very difficult task indeed. And that midfield just keeps getting more and more ferocious by the minute, you swear. Easy best over the line and does a 1:46.8, so not a bad effort at all there. But to go into the complex yet again, AZ Best still in P10, looking for a little bit of momentum to swing his way as he's being caught by a few drivers who've lost their footing early on. Cortese still trying to also attack a certain Kepu the Legend. That battle for third position is set to not die down anytime soon, as they're into Copse Corner for time number 6 today. Through they go, and it's still been a pretty enticing battle between those guys, isn't it? And I'm sure it's only going to once again improve as time goes on. Cortese still looking very firm in the slipstream of his opponent right now as they make their way through Beckett and on towards the hanger strip. Down in towards Stowe Corner, Cortese a bit wide. I say a bit wide, he's left so much room now that he could have parked one of the trucks that the cars get transported into that corner alongside him there, but Cortese does not lose too much time due to it and is able to start pushing back on Kepu right from the word go. Down the main straight they come again to end lap number 6. The gap between the two cars only 0.4 of a second, so not that much at all. It's going to feel like that one of these days there's going to be a manoeuvre one way or another as Cortese looks to force his way through the complex, but still no. And still Kepu defies Cortese's attempts. And just in front of Cortese, actually, Kepu fighting for second place with Lounger. So whilst Pro Drift is now 8 seconds in front of these guys, positions 2, 3 and 4 up for grabs. The other two podiums, what's being contested as Kepu the Legend watches on. It is behind Segan, AG06, followed by Extremely Fast, who's not done badly at all here today. And off track there goes Extremely Fast, so not exactly been a nice corner there for him. Luckily it all gets sorted out, but look at the fight going on now as he goes to hang a straight between those drivers. That is something remarkable, isn't it? The 3 Lotus 88Bs going in towards Stowe Corner. Still no avail just yet for any of them. They're all trying their best to get through, but it hasn't quite been the momentum they needed just yet, despite their finest efforts. To go through now in towards the complex one more time. Max Varty's retired from the race, which is interesting. So unfortunately there for him, that's not been an ideal situation. And a retirement for Max Varty again. We said it was earlier on that the issue started to fall, and the reliability and consistency has always been a bit of a plague. But as they now go into left field, down to the inside, trying to hold off Kepu the Legend, who's careered a move. Will be on the outside, of course, for the next corner, but wraps it round. Kepu takes P2. Very firm driving there. And so make their way onto the national pit straight. Lounger now maybe fancies his chances of getting it back, but Cortese fancies his chances of taking third position off Lounger. So these three still pretty inseparable at the moment, but you never know what's going to happen as they go through Maggots and Beckett's in towards Chapel. And now let's see what Lounger's made of. Can he hold third away from Cortese? Can he attack for second back and reclaim it off Kepu the Legend, or is it going to be a case of now? There he is currently. That's going to be the end of his race position. We'll just be racing towards the end. We'll have to wait and see. And Cortese now does his very best to put a move on the inside of Vale. He started out late, and he just doesn't quite have the track position needed just the moment yet. Lounder sticks it around the inside of the final corner to defend, and he gets it done. Bell pushes Cortese off the circuit. A bit of ruffle and tuffle there between the two drivers. Here, Night Daisy best 10. All died down towards the rear end of the field. It's all about what's going on up front as they still battle over third position. Lounger on the inside As he goes through the link onto the Wellington straight. Cortese being very smart there, ducking underneath, but unfortunately he's going to run out of road. It's a courageous attempt with an apex that tight. And now the drag race begins as they go down now. Not quite got it there, is he? Not just yet. Only 2 seconds down the road to seek him as well, so he's not entirely out of this one. Their way down. Cortese still barely in front of Lounger at the moment, with Seacombe being an ever-pressing threat, then extremely fast on AGO6. Those guys could get caught in a bit of warfare at some point during the next few laps. But the Roar, the Lotus 88B is still very strong here around the Silverstone International Circuit, the main GP circuit that's used. Of course, I actually commentated there in real life yesterday on the Britcar MSA Britcar British Endurance Championship. It was a fantastic race, but really did make you appreciate how large the circuit really is. The commentary box was situated just at the very first corner. We'll give you an idea of where that is right now as Pro Drifter goes through. And you can just see there on the top of the grandstand. We'll see where Kepu comes out. Well, now where Kepu is, directly that first grandstand there, you can see the 6 boxes in the top left-hand corner. That's where the commentary box is situated, so you don't get a fantastic view of the circuit. You can just see the very first corner and the very last, but nonetheless, a brilliant afternoon of racing, and it really did make you appreciate how large and how vastly challenging this circuit really is. The overtaking challenge in itself is very difficult because whilst there's a lot of runoff areas that will maybe tempt you to go a bit more aggressive with your overtaking manoeuvres, there's also a lot of chances back for counter-challenging. So if you get a move done, the very next corner it can sink back from you again. As they fly their way through, you've got to really feel for a lot of the drivers out there right now just trying to get their race back on track. You don't know what's going to happen, especially with people like Anxiety watching from the pit lane. They unfortunately don't play another part in this. It's Anxiety and Vasquez, your 2 retirements so far. Pro Drifter makes his way down Hanger. As I was saying earlier on, the bridge down Hanger, you see it now where Kepu is trying to escape Cortese's clutches from. Now you can just see the big Silverstone logo. You'd think that'd be the prime viewing spot, but the Silverstone logo is so high you can't actually physically view over the bridge. They've deemed it illegal, so they've boarded it all up, as you can see, with Silverstone signs. You can't stand on the bridge to watch the race or see the cars go directly under you, as it obviously distracts the drivers. So no spectating from the bridges, but there's an international wing complex just on your right hand side where all the race control and a few commentary boxes are for the television and radio feeds, along with all of the garages and access to the paddock at the back of it with a few burger vans and merch stands depending on exactly where the what event is being held. But rotated to the inside, not quite, as he tries to attack Kepu the Legend. So through they go, just in towards that very difficult section of the circuit where it brings you onto the national pit straight. There's a nice gaggle of cars there actually fighting over P4. That's Seacombe, Lounger and extremely fast, who seem to be doing battle at the moment. As they come towards the halfway stage of lap number 11 out of the 28 we have for us here today. Go is extremely fast, going to go for a move. He opens up for one. They're side by side between Maggots and Beckett's, but Lounger very sensibly backs out of it and hands over the position. You've got to be in it to win it. And you can see exactly why he's decided to back out of that one. There's no point in fighting that really. There's a lot to be held a bit later on during the race. And as the session starts to wear on now, the race approaches half race distance. There's been a fight there coming out of the final corner with Kepu and Cortese still as well. So still a little bit more action to come from those guys as Cortese looks to try and put himself up into second and reclaim the place he lost slightly earlier on before. And as they dive through the link in towards Wellington Straight, just looking at Cortese's line, a bit more aggressive, trying to get a cut back, but he just, again, not quite as close as he'd like to be there. The draft should offer a little improvement, but is it going to be enough? Potentially not. And that nice gaggle of cars continues to build as Extremely Fast tries to attack Seacombe. Still cannot get alongside. As we said, passing is a very big issue here at the moment. Silverstone and these 88Bs not really built for drafting. With that in mind, it was just more of a case of, okay, here we go. Let's just get these brutal, powerful V8s out there, and these Lotus 88B, a fantastic car from the early 80s, which saw some legendary drivers race within it, of course. What really matters now is the run-down hanger straight, and Extremely Fast made us have the perfect one to the outside of Stowe. He's going to try round the outside of Seacombe. And it's the first successful pass around Stowe we've seen all afternoon. Fantastic job there by Extremely Fast to get himself up past Seacombe. Seacombe cannot come back to it as well, by the looks of things. As they go through turn number 1 again, Cortese still looking very nimble in P3 as Extremely Fast tries to bring that gap down with a 144.2 and a 145 from Cortese. So it looks to me like Extremely Fast will be gaining on Kepi very soon. But Extremely Fast is looking extremely fast. We say that pace is looking pretty unrelenting out there right now. And now through goes Pro Drifter. Let's keep an eye on his pace as well, because he's 12 seconds in front of the nearest competitor. He's had a fantastic show so far, it's got to be said. And we go through Maggots and Beckett's. His pace has been unrelenting. The man who's had a fantastic showing in the Performance Driving Championship, really come alive as of recent weeks. I think it's got to be said. He has had a brilliant few weeks, and they're only set to improve as he looks to add another race win to his name here today, almost halfway through this race right now, and looking a bit more dangerous than ever out at the very front of the field. So down the straight he comes. Keep an eye on what's going on with Kepu and Cortese also. Those three battles forming between second, third, fourth and fifth, and sixth and seventh. Kepu in control of the first. I think Extremely Fast went a bit wide there, going in towards the final corner, and there is AGO6. Lounge at P7, and Jamu sitting in P8 currently, so hasn't been such a bad day at all there for Jamu number 1. Pretty consistent. He's having to just add a bit more, or another level to it, wouldn't he, and get himself up higher. And of course now there won't be pit stops today after the bit of unfortune we saw earlier on, and some drivers reporting some issues with refueling, so they thought it was safer to avoid it completely, just go on one big tank and see how they go. But as Cortese tries to go inside there of Kepu, he's not quite got it there yet. Despite his finest efforts today, he's still done very well in third. He's got a bit of work to do, however. So the race wears on then, and a quick update of the current standings. We'll update you as soon as we possibly can. We've had a few incidents to report, so we'll bring you up to date on those as soon as we get them through. But the standings currently are Pro Drifter from Kepu, from Cortese, And then it's extremely fast in 4th, Seacombe in P5, AGO6 is in 6th place, Lounger 7th, Jamie number 1 in 8th, Henge in 9th, and 10th place is AZ Best, with El Nino in 11th, and Luke Sky still recovering in P12. And Farty out the race in 13th, and Vasquez out in 14th, but Pro Drifter in sheer control as Cortese may be in control of 2nd, thinks better of it as they go through the loop. A very intimidating move that almost was, and almost got the job done as well. Down, the Wellington straight go Kepu, as almost onto the national pit straight goes Pro Drifter, so a big lead there for him. As all these battles almost settle down a little now, it's been a bit quiet. But still, at 15 and 28, still a long way to go, of course, in this one. And Pro Drifter goes in towards Stowe Corner right now. A very calm, very collected pilot of the Lotus 88B. Kepu P2, Cortese still trying to push through Kepu in P4 with extremely fast Seacombe, AGO6 and Co all lining up behind, waiting for a go. We've seen some already, as we say, quite interesting action, and it's only going to improve. But on lap 15, over halfway right now, and very close indeed are Cortese and Kepu once again. You can't keep them separated, it seems. Down the main straight they come, and Cortese only 3 tenths behind that time, a 1:44.3 compared to a 1:44.2 of the man he's chasing, so a little bit slower. That shouldn't stop him from launching an overtaking manoeuvre very shortly. He's getting closer and closer through the loop each time. And he's gone to the inside now, and has he got the move done? Oh, he spins at the apex! Spins over the anti-cuts, and does Kepu spin as well? The answer, oh, it's all a mess. Both of them do. So both Cortese and Kepu spin. So big change up here. Is extremely fast now takes 2nd. Seacombe now takes P3. 4th belongs to Kepu the Legend. 5th place belongs to AGO6. Very bizarre change of scenery here all of a sudden. And you can't really knock them though for trying and going to push their way back through the field, as Kepu's got to, and so is G Cortese. Down to P7 now, the man who was fighting for 2nd just a few moments ago. And through Maggots and Beckett's go that field, and look how close they're all starting to rile up to each other right now as AGO6 eyes up at a potential move on Kepu the Legend. The last time that was attempted, it ended not too greatly indeed, but in towards Vale and Club they go for the 16th time today. And just behind there, Lounger and Cortese fight away, but I don't think it's going to be enough anytime soon. Cortese's got to find something a bit deeper to push himself back through the field. Through turn 1 they go, and in towards Abbey and Farm. Big, interesting move, I should say, of AGO6. He tries to attack Kepu the Legend. He's played it very calmly. Onto the Wellington straight for the 17th time today. Still Pro Drifter out in front, has not dropped a lap of the lead so far. Been absolutely untouchable out there, the fastest lap of the race, pole position. Could be going for the perfect triple here, a dominating way to end the 2nd round of a championship. But that's still providing that you never know, there could still be some very late changes to go over the start-finish line. But still then, as we try and keep you updated on what's going on with Cortese and Lounger, Cortese had a much better run going out of Beckett's. And as he now gets a bit closer through the hangar straight, you've got to wonder, what's that draft going to be like? They both go to the right-hand side of the circuit, slowly drift to the left. It will be Cortese's choice if he did want to maybe chance a manoeuvre, but I can't really see one brewing up very soon. So now going to Vale and Club for the biggest time in Cortese's race, I think, so far, as he gets a bit closer once again to the rear end of Lounger, and once again, Lounger says no and shuts the door. Cortese down the main straight, bit of a wobble, but no major threat. Lap 18 of 28 starts. Into the complex again. He's trying to go underneath there as Cortese. He's played it very well. And unfortunately, Lounger sees it coming and holds that door shut with everything he's got. And onto the Wellington straight. You've got to think, in the mind of Cortese right now, what would be the best route to go down. The fact that he made his trial one here, he's got a fantastic draft. He's got all close to the back of it, to the inside, and Cortese's gone for it. Big manoeuvre there for G. Cortese. He sails up into 6th position. Good run of form there for G. Cortese. It's going to look to continue. And down the main stretch they come now for what could be a very intimidating lap now for Cortese, because there's still a lot for these drivers to endure. So let's just see then what these guys have got left in their tanks. We've still got 11 laps of action left to go here, so still a lot that can change. Down in towards Vale and Club again, and our two cars are getting slightly closer together. Those are extremely fast and Seacombe. Lap times last time by then as they go over the line, a 144 flat from extremely fast, a 144 flat from Seacombe, just 100th of a second slower. So the men in second and third are very close together right now, both on pace and on margin. So we'll have to wait and see who can be the king of that battle. But for now, it's all about just waiting and biding your time. Penge over the line in front of AZ Best and El Nino. Those three could be set to get their own battle started very shortly. Towards the loop goes El Nino, still looking for maybe a bit of an advantage. Still yet to find one. And as now through turn 1 goes extremely fast. He's only 1.4 seconds away from Seacombe in turn 1 of the old circuit, I meant, but Seacombe third, Kepi fourth, and AGO6 getting very wobbly there off of Copse Corner in P6. So the rest of the field are pretty close together in terms of speed comparison, and only separated by a few seconds in terms of the actual race so far. So a lot of things that could still outplay each other and are going to come into factor later on. The fact that there's now on the Wellington straight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars is pretty self-explanatory that this one is far, far from over. You often see things in the last laps, and fuel is one of them. Just remember to the B race a few moments ago, and that will surely sum up your opinions. It was simply marvellous to see, but very distressing for the drivers, and a lot of them lost good results. Sean 24, the race leader, was one of them for that point. He led 16 out of the 17 laps. To try and give you an update as to what's happening down the Wellington straight right now, and it's going to be maybe a bit of heartbreak, because I've got a feeling it just could be a bit of a change of heart as JMU number 1 swings back underneath from Lounger. Was much faster last time by, now just 1.9 seconds away. It's all about now just playing the waiting game for these drivers. They don't want to race themselves. You've got a bit of a fight going on with El Nino and AZ Best. We said that may have been coming. The question is, how far away is it? Because they need it right about now. But over the main straight they go then, lap number 20 in the books very shortly for the drivers at the very front of the field, I should say, as Pro Drifter navigates his way down now. So 8 laps to go for him, extremely fast still, making his way down out of Stoke Corner in front of Seeker, in front of Kepu, in front of AGO6, and in front of G Cortese also. Jamie 1 still holding strong in 8th place, but the battle with AZ Best and El Nino has come to a bit of a halt. We'll see what happens as they go down the Hanger Straight. Still no change yet. I think El Nino may have got the best of AZ Best, as the saying goes. And now out of Club Corner, they're all going to come. It's going to be a big moment for AZ Best if he can get in a draft, but El Nino's already set his sights on the back of Penge, I imagine. Could explain why. Such a fatal flaw at the moment today. But Cortese is catching AGO6 and that pack very rapidly. So the man who was fighting for second earlier on may be fighting for something a little bit more if this race continues. Of course, there's only 8 laps to go, but the way he's performing currently, you never know what could happen. He's had plenty of opportunities. And after that little spin earlier on, if he can, well, pretty sure that he doesn't want to make it again. Let's just see if he can do so and push his way back through the field, and that is AGO6 off. Is that a problem for him though? I think he's got it safely recovered. Oh, it's extremely fast, I beg your pardon. So extremely fast, suffering the issue. And he's off again on the track. Has that car got a problem? Yeah, it's got to have. Surely there's a steering lock problem on that Lotus, I'm pretty sure. He's on the racing line now, lounges out of the game. I do have a very terrible feeling that Fast Man has got attention. Yeah, extremely fast, I think may have a puncture. Yeah, it's on the front left, I think, is where the puncture is, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that front left tyre, he's got to piss in. He's got to try and get that sorted. He's in the pits. So another driver in the pits as well, actually, it's G Cortese. So both drivers with issues. Very intriguing to do. Had someone hit the wall, I believe, at some point during the circuit, or had a bit of a clatter. And I think it's Luke Sky, 18 maybe. No, it's Penge. So Penge's in the pits also. And again, something that is very interesting. So we'll see if they can get all their problems sorted out as soon as possible, as Penge tries to leave the pit box and just misses it slightly there, as Luke Sky also with the pit button lit, not looking too fast going in towards Vale. Does he decide to dive into the pits? Yes, he does. So a lot of the field actually find themselves diving into pit road at the very late stage of this one, which extends Pro Drifter's lead to 21 seconds to the nearest competitor. Absolutely dominant here today, but more punctures for the field is a pretty familiar saying. We've got drivers now in as extremely fast does come in. Who's that off? Kepu the Legend, is that another one? If that is, it's going to be an issue. Watch the steering on the car, he might be okay. Oh, it's a puncture. No, Kepu the Legend's got one. Kepu has definitely got a puncture. That is not what he wants to see at all. So Kepu struggling out there today. That's such a shame as well. As Pro Drifter puts a lap on the drivers that have pitted. Kepu's going to have to yield to Jamie 1 sooner or later, because Jamie played that beautifully, flicking it around the outside. Absolutely master's touch. And Pro Drifter now getting his way past Penge. Seekham on his own in second, providing there's no more punctures. This should be a fairly straight drive to the line for him. And then again, saying now, I don't want to put a commentator's curse. I know we've had a fair few at the moment. And to go through, just trying to keep an eye now, and the rest of the field is very difficult, as you never know who's going to come out with a puncture next, it seems. El Nino doing his very best to just hold on there as AZ Best tries to catch up. Cortese comes out of the pits. Kepu the Legend makes his way out of the pits as well after the heartbreak we saw from him a few moments ago. Right now, I think it's just a case of damage limitation for him and just taking a chop into the lead if he can get a couple of extra points. Of course, being in the championship, every single point is fought for. You need as many as you can get. And if it only being 4 rounds, you can get quite desperate for points come the end of the season. So the more you pick up now, the less you have to worry about coming at choosing the drop round or anything like that. But Pro Drifter, very heavy braking. And into the pits, so Pro Drifter dives into the pit lane on that number 23 of 28. Is it a puncture or no? If it is, that's going to be quite a brutal issue because AGO6 is only 25 seconds away. Oh, AGO6 goes wide out. Another one? Another puncture, I think it may be. AGO6 may have picked one up, but yeah, he has. AGO6 with a puncture, and he stays out, I think. If that's the case, it's a very risky call, and he's struggling for grip already. With Pro Drifter in the pits, he's going to go for the lead. You can see why, but it's a very risky thing to do as Pro Drifter leaves the pits now out of the lead. He'll be down to provisionally about 3rd position, I believe. He is indeed, as Pro makes his way to the end. And Seacom comes in with damage, or what we assume to be a puncture. There could be a very late showing here, you never know. We've seen these late comebacks happen before. It could very well happen again for some of these drivers, and I think that could be one for Penge. I heard a bit of a clatter go as well. The rubber blowing off the tyre as AGO6 fights with Pro Drifter 1000 for 2nd position. Pro gets immediately back in front though, as AGO6 doesn't really have the pace. I think, it's a puncture as well maybe. There's a lot of sparks going off the bottom of that. There is, yeah, it's AGO6 has definitely got a puncture, so unfortunate news for him there. And AGO6 moves through the national pit straight, and you've got to think in the short term, and an impulse decision may not have been the worst decision in the world, trying to, gain an edge on your opponents, but AZ Best has got one as well in 4th. They both go off. So thank you very much, G Cortese, who's driven a much softer race on the tyres. I'm sure he'll be more than happy with a result like that. And they've both got to try and manage their cars back to the pits and still fighting amongst themselves, of course. It's all for race position. So as they dive their way, which will be provisionally at the end of Vale, as they go down the hangar straight now, into the pits. Who's going to get in there first? It's currently AGO6 that leads that little charge. Into the pits again, I think he's going to pull both of these cars, or is one of them going to risk staying out and doing another lap and trying to gain an advantage, or do they both go in? AGO6, AZ Best does stay out. I don't know if he's trying to risk it or no, he knows there's not a lot of laps left, but right now it's not exactly what he needs to. And just watching AZ Best lock up, it's not a fascinating sight as AGO6 leaves the pit lane. El Nino pulls in. I think every driver's suffering a puncture, and the ones that aren't have played a very strong race as Jamie loses the lead overall, though, to Pro Drifter. So despite pitting in and having a puncture, I should say, Pro Drifter is still pulled out in front of the other 2 drivers. That is absolutely surreal. The pace of that man has been unmatched all afternoon today. So still been a pretty big afternoon for Pro Drifter, and it's going to be a dominant victory, one he can smile about. Jamu elects to pit. Cortese finds himself in P2, maybe 6 seconds off the lead. So G Cortese 49, master of the strategy here today, it seemed, isn't it? As we've got Seacom out of the race, so Seacom retires, with Luke Sky still pushing. Penge overtaking El Nino, who is running out of fuel, it looks like to me, or at least struggling with some kind of technical issue. Yeah, he's definitely not looking as strong as he was, is he? He's only doing 115 mile an hour. Okay, in 8th, AZ Best 7th. 6th place currently belonging to AGO6. 5th place, extremely fast man who's done a very good job at recovering today, but he's 22 seconds away from AGO6 as Jamie pops into the pit lane. That's from P4, so obviously getting the puncture sorted out, and he's actually lost a position now to AGO6. Or at least he may do. Extremely fast as the man who got through, I beg your pardon. And Kepu, Cortese and Pro are still running strong out there. It looks to me like it's going to be now a flat-out run to the end for the majority of these drivers. There's not going to be any two more surprises, I don't think, as AZ Best pulls away off his pit line. And into the box comes El Nino from P10. So issues there for El Nino, it seems. Could be, again, yet another puncture. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. And these cars have been ragging so hard today to make sure it all goes to plan, but you've just got a feeling that you push that hard in a car that old, that something's got to give, and unfortunately for the majority of the drivers here today, it did. Cortese, the only man who's really not had a problem whatsoever, and look where it's left him. Up fighting for second position, 7.5 away from the leader. Cortese just about to go over the line now to start the penultimate lap of the race then. It's a big start from Cortese has led to a big finish. Very consistent, very conservative drives by both the race leader and the man in second, although the man in the lead still suffered a puncture. He did a fantastic job though, didn't he? Throughout the race, it's not like he's had, you know, quite a skimpy race or made a lot of errors. He's done a very, very good job. And Pro drifted down the old national pit straight for the penultimate time, followed by Cortese. Kepu, there's a car stopped on the circuit, going very slowly at least. We'll find out who that is for you. I believe it's still going to be El Nino potentially, is it? Yes, it is. So El Nino with issues, decelerating, and that's fuel, isn't it? Is it a fuel issue maybe, or? Well, that car's not sounding its healthiest, that's for sure. If he can recover it to the pit lane, he may get it sorted out, but if he can't, it could very well be race over with the man in P10 barely managing to reach 85 mile an hour there. Luke Sky, Penge, AGO6, then Jamu. Then extremely fast as well, followed by Kepu, Cortese in second, and first place, the Pro Drifter at the moment. But still, as you say, a lot could change as El Nino has to move out of the way once again. And that's such a shame for him. I don't think he's going to make it back to the pit lane, actually. He's going to be Maggots and Beckett's now, and that car's still consistently going downhill, isn't it? Both literally and metaphorically. He's pulled off on the grass. It's going to lose him more time. He's in 5th gear, doing about 60 mile an hour. It's not where he thought he would be at the start of the day. And unfortunately, it's where he might end up. The Pro Drifter down the Wellington Straight for the final time. He's had a fantastic race this afternoon. Dominated start to finish. A puncture issue mid-race, but still fought his way back and got himself into the lead. So a thoroughly deserved victory it will be for him, and Cortese, arguably strategist of the day, the man who's really conserved those tyres and not played the waiting game at all, played it very nicely. Kepu the Legend's got another one. Unless there's a sloppy entrance out of the corner, Kepu the Legend may have another one. No, I think it is, yeah, front right on Kepu the Legend's car, extremely fast, only 11 seconds away. Is Kepu going to lose out? There's smoke pouring from the back end. And extremely fast sees it, and you can just see the very trail end of the smoke as he gets closer and closer. You can just smell the tyre burning away, panting for air. As we can see though, as Pro Drifter is about to claim a victory, you've got to keep an eye on Kepu and extremely fast. Kepu will defend to the death for it. Another look up into Cop's corner. Jamu 1, not that far away. AGO6 also, but a second puncture as El Nino leaves the pit lane. Pro comes around the final corner though. Pro Drifter 1000 wins round 2 in dominant style. Fastest lap, pole position and a race win Pro Drifter does the trio, wins round 2 of the Out of This World Championship. G Cortese is going to take P2, and what a deserved victory that will be. Beautiful stuff. Extremely Fast is going to surely just finish in front, of course. Oh yeah, he does. He overtakes Kepi the Legend. No answer there. So Extremely Fast will take 3rd. Who will take 4th? Is Jamie Wong going to maybe catch Kepi before the race is out? He's only up there. 2 more corners to go. It's going to be a potential maybe. He's got that gap cut right down like a hot knife through butter, but I don't think it will be enough. 3rd place goes to Extremely Fast Man. 4th place goes to just about Kepu. 5th place to Kepi the Legend. 6th place AGO6. 7th place will be Penge. Very provisionally, of course. 8th place Luke Sky 80. 9th AZ Best. 10th El Nino. 11th and out of the race are Seacom, Lounger, Anxiety, Vasquez, and that rounds out your runners for today's race. Thank you so much to every single driver, and congratulations to our winners. I just want to take this opportunity once again to send our condolences to one of our top members and one of our most passionate members, Alan Wu. Our thoughts from all of us here at Sim Raceway are with you at this very difficult time. So thank you to Alan, again, and very best wishes for him in the future. Thanks to all of you guys for tuning in. Thank you to our race administrator, Kosako, and events organizer for making all of this possible. So Carlos, for his camera work early on and for his great work in that 2nd race as well. He just almost had that race early on, and it just wasn't quite there for him. But to you guys for tuning in as well, you've all done splendid as always and made this broadcast what it is. So from myself, Liam Jenkins, if you want to get in contact with us at Sim Raceway or at Liam J Sim Racing, and we'll see you next week for the next edition of the Out of This World Championship.